Good morning. Today's another one of our first fives. So my wife has a favorite movie. It's not one of my favorite movies, although I've seen it a few times. And to be fair, there are some parts I laugh at. The movie's Dumb and Dumber. It's a little older now, and so if you haven't seen it, I don't know that you're missing out. But there's a line in the movie that I can never forget. I won't give you all the specifics, but the line goes like this. You've totally redeemed yourself. And I have to laugh because the whole point in the movie is this, that the character has redeemed himself from a previous mistake, a previous poor decision he's made, and so he's redeemed himself. See, the truth is, I think in life we often try to redeem ourselves. We try to pick ourselves up, we try to make sure whatever mistakes we've made we don't make again, and there's some really good things to that. In fact, trying to redeem broken parts of our lives is a good thing. However, sometimes we lack the recognition to know we can't redeem all things by ourselves. In fact, we really can't redeem our own hearts, our own minds, without the work of Christ. And I think sometimes we forget that. And so even this week, as we talk about the practice of confession, we forget that confession, the reason we confess to God and often to one another, is so that we can be made new. So that we can have a new heart, so that our heart can be redeemed back into the image that God created us to be, in the image of Him, to love as Jesus loves. That's why I love these just brief words from Ephesians chapter 1, verse 7 and verse 8. Verse 7 says this, "In Him we have redemption through His blood, the forgiveness of sins, in accordance with the riches of God's grace that He lavished on us with all wisdom and understanding." So God lavishes, He gives generously His grace to us. And He does this so that we can be redeemed, so that we can have our life redeemed, restored, made new, reconciled to Him. This idea of redeemed means taking what has been past and has to no longer be the defining characteristic, but it has been made new in a new way. And so we see this idea, this redemption, through the death and resurrection of Jesus, through His laying down His life for our sake, offers us redemption for the forgiveness of sins. It's Jesus, at the end of the day. Even if we speak on His behalf, it is He who forgives our sins. As the truth is, so unlike the movie Dumb and Dumber, you and I cannot redeem ourselves. But the good news is this, that in accordance with the riches of God's grace, He lavished on us this opportunity to receive the forgiveness of our sins, to be redeemed. Do you and I live as a people who have been redeemed? Do you and I live as a people inviting others to know the redemption that we find in Jesus, that takes our past and leaves it there so that we are redefined, redeemed? We are made new, recreated in the image of God. We become not only human, we become fully human through the redemption, the forgiveness of our sins. And so may you this day, may you find that confession leads us to new life. Confession leads us to redemption. And we can't do it on our own. We need Him to make that happen. We'll see you tomorrow.